That's what deepens a relationship and a respect, because you know that that person's got your back and your best interests at heart. They're willing to have that hard conversation instead of, you're the best. Oh my God.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the Hustle and Muscle Show with Rich and Rizz. I'm Rich and this is Rizz.
Hello.
And if it's the first time you're hearing, I'm Rich. I have a company called Com Marketing. We help health and fitness businesses grow their business. And I met Rizz about 2 years ago. He was my personal trainer and he helped me grow my body. And since then, we've been hustling and muscling. And in this podcast, we'll talk about two things. We'll talk about your health and fitness business and your body and mind and putting it all together. So if you want to find out a bit more about us, you can go to Rizz Fitness or Com Marketing.
Yep.
Rizz, how you doing this week?
Well, I feel really good. A nice sense of clarity. Really eager to get moving, full of energy, full of beans. Awesome. What about yourself, Rich?
Yeah, it's been good. Rizz, we've been really changing. We've been restructuring our programs that we've been running for the last 7-8 years. We've had one of the longest marketing programs fitness been running. It's called Com Marketing Ninjas. We developed about 7 years ago, and we're making a massive structurally change over the last 2 months, changing how we deliver it and how people can take aboard it. So we've been busy in that process, and that's where we've been. So it's been good, been a good journey, and we always want to keep evolving. Just like everybody else needs to evolve their business. You don't evolve, you don't grow, you die. There's an old saying there is, you don't grow, you die. Market switches, market changes. So I didn't want to talk about that today. Like
let's chew it through, brother. I feel like I'm there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's a lot of changes happening in your place. You're in between a renovation, newly created business, but you also done a renovation. A bit more cash to put into the studio. So you've done a nice renovation.
Mate, for the first time ever, and it's all thanks to Com, obviously, and this is no plug. It's just my loyalties lie where they are. You guys do a really good job. But for the first time this month, I was actually able to save money. Fucking how crazy is that?
And pay yourself, Rizz?
Get the fuck out. Pay myself whatever I want to out of that. You know what I mean?
Good.
Reliably now, which is good because I've got reliable income, something I haven't been able to save for a long time. But I've been able to work to that. So that's awesome. You know, the part of my brain goes, don't get comfortable. But it's great to be in that point where finally I can fucking, actually put some money in my pocket. So massive win there for me. But yeah, I felt a little bit, I don't know. I feel like I need a bit more of a kick up the arse. I feel like in 9 months, I'd rather be a bit further on than what I am. And mind you, last year, I'm making almost double than what I was this time last year. So I'm doing great things, but I feel like I need to reinitiate and reset some targets and go again. But I suppose it speaks to a bit of the adherence side of things. I think if you're in flow and you're ticking all the boxes, that's great. And then look, I'm ticking the boxes. I'm doing my sticky content, social media posts. I'm doing all the business related stuff. Yep. But there's no driver in there. I'm not actively trying to punch through and grow and find stuff. And I'm at that stage where, like, if you don't grow, you die. And I'm like, all right, if I gave it another 2 months, I reckon I'd be feeling pretty flat. Even if my numbers stayed the same with clients, I need to be pushing forward. So I think adherence stuff needs to.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're big on adherence. When I was training with yourself, Rizz, in your pods that you run, groups of 4.
Yep.
Your big thing was adherence. I remember our first session, you got out my phone, you downloaded PT Mind, you downloaded MyFitnessPal, showed me how to work it, like actually physically downloaded it. And I found that got me plugged in to a degree versus saying, hey, go and do it. And then your whole concept is track your calories and train and know what you're doing in that degree. And I always felt that I had to turn up, and I wanted to turn up, and I got the results, right? In previous times when it's like, I just go to a gym and so forth, like I'll turn up, I feel all right, but lifting those little bit extra weight, you get the results. And I guess it's the goal setting, but it's also somebody guiding and pushing me. I want to talk about, and we can maybe ask each other this, that when somebody doesn't, as a as a trainer, you know, you have the best intents to get your clients results, and they just don't. They make some good results at the start, and then
Always.
you know, it's not hard, right? You eat less and you train more, you're going to get good results, right?
Yeah.
It's like in business, you don't do any posting, then you do posting, you get good results.
Yeah. You're going to get those quick wins because you've started.
Yeah, everybody's going to cook it. But what happens after that period when clients then, you just don't see them around. They're not adhering to things. They're not doing what they initially got the results for in the first. I mean,
100%.
you've got a psychology background there. What, I mean, first of all, what goes in their mind? And second, how do you feel as a trainer? And then you sort of maybe see them at a gym or something like that. You don't know what happened to them. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, look, I had a client recently. I just saw her at a coffee shop. She was leading a gym in the local area called The Yard. She used to train with me in a small group PT. Look, cost is always a big one. She was paying $140 a week or something like that to train with me. And the other gym is $65 a week. So look, there's obviously that. But for some people, it's not the value and that sort of thing. It gives me a bit of a... I mean, look, it's always horses for courses. So that in that way, it's attracting your right avatar is always really important. And having the right plan for your clients as well. Like for me, it's important now. I know, don't overcommit my clients. So if I give them a too big of it, if I say, hey, look, you can do 3 sessions a week, sometimes it's too much for people. Sometimes 2 a week is good because then they feel like they tick the box, and if they miss a session, it's not the end of the world, and or they can catch one up in the week or something like that. But I think having a system that works for people, so horses for courses is what I've found to be truly important. And that's, I suppose, you're going to find the right horses for the right course if you've got your right avatar sort of picked out for yourself.
But what happens when they wear the right avatar, Chris, and then they're just not, they just decided not to continue, that they're just not buying into the model that got them the results in the first place for?
Well, I think that's a tricky one, mate. I think reinitiating. I was actually going to suggest. We had a quick chat before this. I was actually going to suggest that I get reinitiated into comp. That I go through the exact same process, the exact same call, like I'm a virgin client. Like I've never been seen, never been touched, Richard. And I think that would really help that reinitiation process, because I think you do lose touch with how good the product is. I think, and it's just normal. It's like taking drugs. For example, you take a bunch of medication. Let's say you take antidepressants, or let's say you take whatever it is that you take, Panadol. It stops working, but it's the same drug.
Yep.
Because you get used to it, and it's very human to get used to it. So then you got to up your dose and you got to do all these things. But I think a reinitiation process is really important. Sit down, make the person feel important again. Fuck. All right. Yeah. Sorry. You're not forgotten in the fray. We value you. We care about you. How do we reinitiate you? How do we keep you moving forward? And I think that's where I've dropped the ball many a time. And I think that's where I could pick up the ball, because I see with this one client, Lisa, she's amazing. First 6 weeks, she dropped 5 kilos. Then it was, hey, did you track your calories? Instead of me checking her physical calorie thing, right? And this is where I dropped the ball. Instead of me checking physically, because I'd get them to show me, yep, you're on point. Instead of doing that, I said, I trusted her, rookie mistake. I said, hey, did you do it? Yeah, I did it. The next week, hey, did you do it? Yeah, I did it, but I'm at 106 kilos now. I don't really get it. All right. Hey, did you do it? Yeah, my diet's been great. Rock on. 107. Right? And so you get complacent. Both sides get complacent. Well, and then I said, I re-engaged. I said, hey, you need to show me a full book of calories by Friday. All right. We can't have this anymore. We're not sleeping anymore. Full book of calories. We're not taking a backward step. If you do, that's fine. That's human, but we're reinitiating. Let's go again. Let's go. Keep the ball moving forward. I think those are my 2 best solutions. Yep. Reinitiate somebody and set your standard back up higher where it was.
Yeah, love it. I think the reinitiation, the re-engagement, reselling the program to anybody, I think is a great concept. It's like the whole, it's that retention process. And I think it's well and truly underutilized, I think, to new business owners. Mm-hmm. When I say that, I went to a talk at Filex with Paul Retention King, just talking about the analogy.
So his middle name isn't Retention?
No.
Okay.
But I think it's on Facebook as Retention. I'll tell you.
Oh, fuck off.
But he's been doing this game, and it was interesting because he had a I'll tell you his name.
Retention King. Nah. So his
No,
reputation is the retention king?
He's called Mr. Retention. Paul Brown.
Oh, that's even more.
Mr. Retention. He's known as the retention guy, and he's been in the
Okay.
fitness industry for many, many years.
Okay.
And the analogy, he had a bottle of water, and he, basically, and he just put a hole in the bottom of it, and poured more water in the top, and it just kept leaking at the bottom. And it really, I think, we teach marketing, we teach lead generation, but at the end of the day, when you're talking about ensuring that your clients remember why you're good, remember why they got the results, re-engage them, I can't even say that word, reinitiate. Thank you. Reinitiate. That is a big key here that we're talking about. And I think, are we doing it well enough? Is everybody doing it well enough?
No, but the big question, is everybody? No. But I think that's where people drop the ball. And that's where I've been being very self-critical. And everywhere you sign up to a new gym, how good is that? When you fucking sign up to a new gym, you're so excited. The air smells different. That day, you are on point. You feel great. You sign up to this new gym. Oh, the equipment, my chest, I got this new pump. Fuck, hell. You feel like you're Superman.
Yep.
But then that starts to go real quick. And then those workouts, they become harder. And then you start noticing shit. You start, that guy's looking at me a bit fucking weird. He's got a fucking bone to pick. She's a bit of a wanker, whatever. The office lady spoke to me a bit wrong. And then your head starts to go down. Instead of getting reinitiated and getting, hey, welcome to the gym. Every morning for a gym, that's a reinitiation process for a gym. And then it should be a 6 monthly or monthly, every quarterly, hey, how you doing? How are your goals? But that doesn't happen. And I think industry-wide, that needs to get reassessed, because I think that's where we lose a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. This week, I've been talking to every single one of our clients just to show them the new process that we've got, and re-engaging their minds about what the possibility is and what they can do. Because you look at anything, you set a studio up and you go from 0 to 100, and you do that because you've got Facebook ads, new location, it's the biggest, it's the greatest, boom, something new. And then you get to this number, whatever the magic number is for you, and it's just like, goes straight line. But there is some thought around that. And even with business owners, is that we all get to a stage that we're comfortable at. We're comfortable at a certain revenue level in our business. We're comfortable at a certain member number. They say that you only fill a room up to 80% capacity. Mentally, we can't go past that capacity. You only fill the trainer up to a certain level, and then you got to find a new trainer. So we have a thing inside us that there's always these limitations and all these lines, which is really interesting. So I think that's self-awareness. As, do you have these limitations that are happening, that you'll reach the number and you can't get past that? I personally think everybody does. It's just
human nature.
It's human nature. The other thing I want to chat about is when a client does decide to say, okay, let's say we weren't, they've had some great results, and they do decide to go somewhere else. Let's say they go to somewhere more expensive or cheaper, and you see them, like you said, you mentioned a client you saw across the road. How should it make you feel as a business owner? Should it make you feel, hey, we did all that we could? There's abundance in the world. Awesome. Good for them that they keep training. Or do you feel, and I'm asking this question, or do we feel, hey, it's, did we do something wrong? Did we not continue showing them how they can continue getting results? Did we smell bad? Did we not wear deodorant? Like, what are we thinking here?
I think in your heart you didn't do a good job. And I think that's what hurts. I think in your heart that you probably dropped the ball on that one. I think in your heart that you just didn't give it that extra 10%, maybe that you would have, and that's why it stings. I think truly, if like if I saw her client that she left because I wouldn't wear a mask, but I trained her, I looked after her. She did half an hour a week for me, and it was good. And I was answering all questions that she had, constantly reaching out to her. And then it was COVID, and she left because I didn't wear a mask one morning. It was a one-on-one session in a 140 square meter facility. All of a sudden, she wanted me to wear a mask with no context and got really aggressive. I said no. And then it was ended there and then. And she said, look, cancel me straight down. I was happy to see her go, If I saw her, gone. I don't care. She's a rude person. But I think when somebody leaves and they're a good client, I think it stings because you know you could have done better. And I think that's just it's the one that got away. And I think you're going to have that. You're going to have that with relationships. You're going to have that with friendships. You're going to have, fuck, I wish I was a bit better a friend of that person. Or I wish I didn't do that one thing that really pissed them off. And I think just in your heart of hearts, you know you could do better. That's what I feel like it is for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I say, I go, yeah, that's what it feels like. But I can't speak for everyone. What is it for you, Rich?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I'm a kind of problem solver, Riz. So my mind doesn't go to like, it always goes to straight away, how can I solve it? How can I make it better? Like, I think that if I was to call up any client, I know I can get them, if they've left, I know I can get them back, generally speaking, or I know I can, I continue to work with somebody who's maybe like just dropped off and been busy, and I get them back where they need to be. So I think that I want to make sure that they are plugged in. So I go straight away, well, what do we do wrong? What do we do wrong? What do we do wrong? And sometimes to the degree that I will make huge changes just to ensure this one person is plugged in. And so I've always got to look going, well, what can we do to fix up something? Or was it simply we were not the right fit for that person at that time as somebody grows? As people grow, people change, people need different things. And you can't be everybody to everything.
No.
And that's a key point too. If you everybody to everything, you've got a problem. So you've just got to narrow it up to say, is this client the right fit? Did they go through the right process? If they didn't, and they are the right client, you've got a problem. And I do want to fix it up, and I'll work whatever I need to do to get it fixed up. It bugs me. It bugs me a lot. Personally, just eats me aside. I don't think it eats me. I think I just go, okay, I need to work a bit better. Noted. On to the next thing. I like that.
Fix it with the next person. I think I used to get pretty hung up on it. I used to get very, very hung up on it. Not pretty, very. Why and I think now it's like, now as I've grown, I'm like, okay, that's that. Them not being around means I've not done something correct. But it means I've just got to keep looking at. Got to keep trying to plug holes. And I think inherently in business, you're always trying to do that. I'm always trying to plug holes. There's always things I'm trying to do better. And that just takes time. Sometimes when somebody leaves, you're not at the right stage of your business. They're not the right client, or they were good enough for you to be attracted to you. I think, this person that left, we had, we went out for drinks, and it was like we had a good group of gals that were all trained together, and everyone was loving it. So, there was good community. She was getting in good sessions. She was getting stronger. She was getting better body composition. But, for all people, it's not what it, you only hope to increase your product's quality, and then hope people come to that, I think,
And I think that's all you can do, because then you go down to a bad rabbit hole. And
yes,
when you've been in the industry, it doesn't, from our side, from a trainer side, like, we know that people are involved in the big problem out there in society at the moment is that there's a lot of choice.
Heaps.
And there's probably too much. There's a lot of confusion in the marketplace. And I just think that community is a big thing. Peer-to-peer, for us, peer-to-peer learning, I believe, is a huge thing. And I think the community is what keeps people around. And so if that person that may be leaving, maybe they're not a community kind of person, and they've only been plugged into one thing. That means then the other elements of your service that you run is probably not as applicable to that particular person. So we all have that best client. They love the one-on-ones. They love the groups. They love the community. They turn up. Those people are great, right? But then there are as a whole selection of people that are not those people.
The majority aren't those people, I find. You go find 50% of people aren't, like in my business, but 50% of people who love the business. And then I've got 50% who are like fucking die hard. People that love the business show up, but then you got 50% that'll be like, Rizz, what's going on? What's happening? Let's go. And they're in. If I've got another product to sell, they're buying it,
Yep. So I think the summary here, Rizz, is what you're saying is that you've got to do everything you can. I love the process of getting them back involved, starting from fresh, starting from scratch. I think that's something that we should all put in every quarter, every 6 months, every year or something like that.
Every quarter. I mean, I do remeasures and all that stuff every quarter, but even I drop the ball on that. If they're not wearing the appropriate clothes, or I forget to measure them and I'll do it next week and it's just not good enough on my behalf. If I had another staff member and whatever, I have a measure up day and I wouldn't do any training. I'd just do the measure ups and I'd be there to measure them all up and I'd chill for the morning. That would be my job, and the trainer would do the training. But when you've got to juggle lots of hats, it's you forget sometimes. So I do the measurements, but then I won't remind them to go, hey, you need to be fucking butt ass naked and we need to do some progress photos.
Yep.
Like not butt ass naked, but you know what I mean? You need to be in undies or whatever. So 100%. I try and do it, but even then you can still drop the ball there. So it's
you still can drop the ball there. But at the same time too, there is the other side of it, that it doesn't matter how consistent you are and how regular you are. Yeah. At the end of the day, as human beings, we also like to be systemized, but we also like adventure. We like things that aren't different. That's the reason why people need our services. They say, I'm going to start a diet on Monday, and then they'll get on the alcohol and then they'll clean up. Like it's a consistent thing that human beings are wired, that we want 100%. We want different things as well. So I think we also do have to understand that we are working in a service-based industry and we are working with human beings. So I think overall we do need to have a selection that you can't win them all. Do your best that you can physically possibly do, but knowing that some people just love a bit of change and switching and swapping, and it can be a good or it could be a bad thing as well. The other thing that I do want to pull up as well is that I get a little bit worried, Rizz, when a client comes to us and they bag out other providers that they may have been to prior. That I know that they may be our competitors, like every gym and every studio has a competitor. But I also know that everybody who is in this space or in the fitness space, they're doing the best job they know how. And I know that if they've come and said, I've been to this person, and nothing worked, well, I kind of know that it's the person.
Well, I mean, if somebody came to me and was like, I went to such and such and they weren't that good or something, like if they went to F45, say, I go, okay, fair enough. It's a different service, not personal training. But I went to Vision Personal Training and that didn't work. That didn't work. Yeah, I'm going to have some questions. Why didn't it work? Why did you change? And most of the time, those people aren't, they're not your best clients for the most part, I find.
Yep.
And you find the same thing?
No, they're not our best clients.
No. You said that with the sound of like,
because I know what I know,
and trauma in your voice.
And if they're telling me another coaching provider, which I'm pretty much, I know most of the other providers out there.
Yeah, you do.
And
we all do.
And I know that they would have done a decent enough service. Yeah, there might be some things that we don't see alignment on. But when someone says, "Oh, straight out did this, didn't work," well, that's a warning sign to say, hey, we've got to really figure out how this person is motivated, keep a really close eye on their results, and make sure they get what they need out of the program and have a really clear, point to get there. Yeah. Because otherwise you don't want to be that another person they've tried. That's not good for anybody. So you've just got to know who you're working with and know your audience and know your avatar. Listen, it's a really interesting subject, Rizz, and I think it's something that everybody goes through. Yeah. And as more competition is on the horizon, and we'll talk about competition for a second, but competition is not such a bad thing.
It's great.
It's a good thing. When I started personal training, I was 17 and a half. And when I said I'm a personal trainer, people would go, what the hell is that? And so the big problem that I had in the early days is that I had to teach people what personal training was. Now, everybody knows what personal training is, right? So you don't have to teach it. So you have more people that have been, more people are talking about it, more people have tried it. So it means that you have a bigger market to market to, that you don't have to explain what it is. So I'll ask you a question. Do you think competition is good or bad, Rizz? What are your thoughts?
Excellent. Competition is great. I've got so much competition in the show, and it allows me to keep my sword sharp, because the only gym that I see that's doing it eventually better than me once, I've been there for 9 months. So I know I'm very early in the game. I'm just starting, and I'm one guy. The only gym that I see is my direct competition in terms of how they're doing and the sheer amount of clients that they're gaining is the Yard. That's the only gym that I see that is it looks polished from start to finish. They've had a very congruent messaging. Their marketing's on point. I did one of their sessions and it was like their follow-ups were non-existent. And their admin stuff wasn't that great, but their stuff to entice me and their community, fantastic. Everybody loves going there. It's a place that's like people go to be seen, which is great for marketing. If people want to, I train at the Yard. Like that's the only gym that I see and go, they're doing it right.
Shout out to the Yard.
Shout out to the Yard, but it's like iron sharpens iron, mate. Like I see that and I go, fuck, all right, I got to keep cranking. I got to get better than them. I love competition.
Very good.
What about you?
Yeah, you know what? Competition is going to be here. Do I love competition? Not really. Not really, because I just think that if we don't need it, great. But at the end of the day, I always go, is competition. So if you can figure out who your audience is, who your market is, what you deliver and how you deliver it, I don't think and I know it sounds like weird. I don't have competition, but I actually believe that if you really know who your market is, and you're okay with that, and you know that your market's not that person, not that person, not that person, you want to be the number one. You want to be number one in the space for your avatar that you're trying to attract. I honestly believe that. And is there a number two? Yep. In some industries, there will be number two. Yes, in the fitness industry, there is number twos. But you need to be top 1 to 2 in the game of your avatar and what you actually do. That's what I believe. Well,
I think it's an admiration thing. It's maybe more than competition. It's an admiration thing. I respect. It's a respect thing. Maybe I respect the hustle. I respect the admiration. I think they're doing it right. That's where I think I find some fuel. I go, fuck, they're doing it right. That's good.
Yes.
That means I've got to keep pumping my standards up. No matter what, I can't drop the ball. There's no, and I think for me, it keeps a small little fire up under my ass of like, come on, big guy.
Yeah,
come on. These guys aren't sleeping, even though they might be. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. But in my head, it's that imaginary game of like, they're working when you're not, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah.
So
it's good. It keeps you alive. That's for sure. And if you're going to do the work, you might as well do an exceptional job of it. And I think that always stands the length of time people understand that the right clients will come to you, especially. But listen, there's a good conversation. I think as a summary here, I do like, getting back and re-engaging those clients every quarter, every 6 months, reminding them of the results, reminding them of what they're missing out on, reminding them they haven't come to a session.
That too. The hard conversations matter too, mate.
They're
the ones where you grow. And I think that's why you have a really good relationship. When I've had times where I've been disengaged with comm. You've had times where you're disengaged with training. And it was like, I think those times where we fell out of love for either side or whatever, and then had the hard conversation of, hey bro, you need to pick up your shit. Oh yeah, fuck, sorry. And then we go, that's why, you're not ticking the boxes. And I'm sitting there going, oh, Richard, you're right. And you're sitting there going, oh, Rizz, I haven't come to training. Fuck, you're right. That's what deepens a relationship and a respect, because you know that person's got your back and your best interests at heart. They're willing to have that hard conversation instead of, you're the best. Oh my God.
All right. So team, so as a recap, the keys to, as you're
talking re-engaging clients.
Re-engaging clients. I think every 3 months, 6 months. I think also believing in your product, believing in your service, and having those hard conversations and saying, hey, are you plugged in or not? That's what you're paying for. How can we better serve you? How can we better serve you? What do you need off us? That will always keep improving product. Don't leave those conversations too late.
Yes.
Know when to have them. Know when the points of drop-offs are. And to help those drop-off points at those moments. Absolutely. I think you can learn a lot from that. Competition, taking your stride. Rizz loves it. If it doesn't have to be there, I don't love it, but I know it's there. So 100%. Learn from it. And I always say, be the number one in your space.
Yes.
Don't, know who's out there in the marketplace, but then, turn them off.
Do your own thing. Exactly.
Do your own thing. You know what I mean? Don't sit in that zone too long. It'll kill you.
Yeah. Love it.
All right. This is good.
Perfect.
This is good. Spicy and hot.
Love it.
Just right. Guys, love to know what you think about this. Let us know. Hit us up on Instagram, and go out there and make a difference. Stand proud, stand tall, and get it happening. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. See you guys in the next one.
Cheers, guys.